Hey YouTube, this is the P-38 pilot again with another gun review. This time it's the Henry AR7 US survival rifle. This was actually the first rifle I've ever owned, but it's not the first rifle I've ever fired. As you can see, it's a fairly compact rifle. It all fits into the back of the buttstock. The cap comes off. You have the receiver group, room for 2 mags, and the 16.01 inch barrel with the orange front sight. The rear sight, standard peep sight. Adjusting it's a little finicky because there's no graduations, it's just a little notch in a piece of sheet metal that was most likely just stamped out. Magazines are hard to find for this. I happen to have 4, 3 that work 100% and 1 that works 95%. I mark my aftermarket AR7 mags with a little bit of whiteout and a 1 or number 2 on the bottom. This is number 1, and this is my good one that I bought. These are my 2 factory ones that came with it. No issues with these. Only number 2, which I don't even have at this table. To disassemble this rifle, well actually, before disassembly, the charging handle is right here. It pops in and out of the receiver. To stow it, you push it in. That way you can slide it into the stock. Safety is located in the rear. Push forward for fire, push back for safe. I'm not really a fan of safeties, but to assemble it, you would just slide it in, screw it in the bottom takedown screw. The barrel is held in by a retaining nut that's just threaded on hand tight. Then there's an alignment pin that needs to go into a slot on the top of the receiver, like so. You gotta push and hold. I usually use my chest or the bench. Screw it in until it's hand tight. You want it to be definitely snug, because the nut will loosen as you fire. The stock is actually a little bit on the long side. It's about 16 inches, give or take a little bit. It's one of the longer holes on any rifle that I've fired. Fits me rather well for being over 6 foot. Disassembly of this is actually rather easy. Make sure it's cocked. Push in the receiver, or put your finger in the receiver, push down a little bit to relieve the tension on the bolt so you can remove the bolt handle, which is just a little pin turned on a lathe. The bolt slides out. There's 2 recoil springs. Then there's the little... oh, that's stuck. Normally there would be a little retaining cap for the springs, but apparently that's stuck. It likes getting hung up on the ejector post, which is the little copper colored thing that you might be able to see in the injection port. And that's all you really need to do for field stripping. No tools required. It tends to get quite dirty with the 22 ammo. To assemble it, you just slide everything back in. You want to make sure the hammer is back, and there is a little notch that needs to go down on the end of the spring, the retainer, whatever you want to call it. That's so it can clear the hammer and the ejector post. Supposedly this floats. I have yet to test it. I do not think the stock is waterproof, unless you would happen to add a little bit of sealer. The magazine release is in the front of the trigger guard, where the safety would be on an M1 Garand or Garand. You just press forward, magazine might drop, it might not, depending on the tension of this screw that holds the plate covering the internals in. Everything just fits nicely into the stock. I can get 3 mags. Depending on what I'm doing, they may be loaded, they may not be. This is a nice little backpacking rifle. I can get it into my external frame pack where the hydration bladder is. The trigger on it is not the greatest. It's a gritty, heavy trigger. I mean, yes, I suppose I could get it tuned up by a gunsmith, but I don't want to spend the money on it. And it's really only a nice backpacking rifle or car gun, however you want to look at it. When I go backpacking, this sits in the hydration bladder pouch in my internal frame backpack. Fits in there nice, it's secure, no one else knows I have it. Ammo, this thing's a little bit finicky. The ammo, I know that works, at least for mine. This is 525 round Federal value pack. I get these at Fleet Farm, or used to be able to, for like 18 bucks. Now what? You can't find 22 ammo, period, which sucks. I've shot some Federal 711B out of it, and it doesn't cycle. For those of you who don't know, Federal 711B is a lower quality match ammo. CCI works flawlessly. I haven't tried Blazer. I don't like Blazer. I've shot Stingers out of it. Actually, that was the first 100 rounds with Stingers through it. Nice. It's a fairly nice rifle for the money. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.